keeping on the automotive front, so to speak, were the GM cases. And we'll go to one more automotive case after this. But that was a different scenario than Toyota, because there was an acknowledgement and there was a recall. And the acknowledgement was that the ignition could suddenly shut off. On its face, it might not sound so bad, but when you're driving the car and the ignition shuts off, you no longer can steer the car. You no longer can brake necessarily. Well, you can brake, but you're not going to get the power brakes. You don't have any power steering. And it was there was thousands of these. They all wound up in New York. And then there was another layer to this, which was after the recall, if people claimed that their ignition switch cut off, causing them to be in an accident, why didn't they bring the car in? They had an opportunity to fix it. I think they did a very good job in terms of overall resolution. I know I keep talking about sort of settlement. I mean, the settlement is part of the litigation for a lot of these mass torts. So when we talk about the law and product liability laws development, we are talking, settlement, because that's part of how the cases get resolved and decided ultimately. Are the settlements fair? How should the monies be distributed? If there's a pot of $10 billion, is that something? Who's going to get the money? So those become legal issues. GM I think the litigation in New York, the judge did a good job getting many of these to a mediator, especially the injury, the bigger injury claims, to get them resolved. GM knew that the product was defective. As I said, they had issued a recall. The cases that did go to trial were focused on these parts being so cheap that they put in the ignition, the relays and the little catches that would prevent it from shutting off, whether it's 97 cents, $1.94, whatever. It seemed like such a small cost. Now, if you're manufacturing 10 million units at an extra $2, I mean, you're talking $20 million to change something like that. So it was, it's an interesting coin to flip there. So on the one hand, for $2, you could have, this whole accident could have been prevented. And then on the other hand, it does cost the company, millions and millions of dollars. But if you're going to come out and say safety first, then you should mean safety first.